Go! Slow! It hurts!" she moaned. He whispered, "I'll die before I hurt you." The sun was just beginning to rise over the tall green hills, painting the sky with shades of pink and gold. The morning air was fresh and crisp, carrying the faint scent of pine and wet earth. Birds chirped softly, and somewhere in the distance a small stream trickled over smooth stones. Maya tightened the straps of her backpack and took a deep breath, enjoying the quiet peace of the early morning. Today was going to be different. She had been planning this weekend hiking trip for weeks, and finally, she had convinced Armand, her longtime friend, to join her. Armand was already ahead, walking with the ease of someone used to the outdoors. He wore a calm expression, though his eyes constantly scanned the path ahead. Maya admired his confidence. He had always been someone she could rely on, steady and careful, yet adventurous enough to join her on a challenging trail. She adjusted her hat and followed him, stepping carefully over rocks and tree roots. The trail was narrow, winding through tall trees that formed a canopy overhead. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating patterns on the ground. The path grew steeper, and Maya felt her heart beat a little faster. She loved the challenge, but she also respected the danger of these hills. Armand noticed her slowing pace and glanced back. "Take it easy," he said gently. "No rush. We've got the whole morning." Maya smiled, feeling reassured. "I know. I just want to see the view at the top. It's supposed to be amazing." Armand nodded, offering her an encouraging smile. "Then we'll get there together, step by step." The two continued, talking about small things, work, mutual friends, and memories from years past. Their conversation was light, but there was a subtle comfort in it, a feeling that they could be themselves around each other. Maya felt a warmth in her chest as she walked beside him, grateful for his presence. She had always liked spending time with him, and moments like this reminded her why. The trail soon became steeper and more rugged. Rocks jutted out from the earth and the ground was slick from the morning dew. Maya's boots slipped slightly on a wet patch, and she caught herself on a tree branch. Her heart skipped a beat. "Careful!" Armand called softly, his voice full of concern. He turned around and waited for her. "Here, take my hand." Maya reached for his hand, and he pulled her gently, steadying her. "Thanks," she said, her voice a little shaky. "That was close!" "Don't worry," Armand said, giving her hand a reassuring squeeze. "I've got you!" They continued upward, the path becoming more challenging with every step. The trees thinned, and patches of sunlight warmed the forest floor. Maya's excitement grew as she imagined the view from the top. But the trail demanded attention. She focused on each step, placing her feet carefully on the rocks. Then, without warning, the ground beneath her foot gave way. A slick rock had loosened, and her foot slipped. Panic surged through her as she tried to grab onto something, but there was nothing solid within reach. She stumbled, her balance lost, and for a terrifying moment, she felt herself falling. "Armand!" she shouted, fear and surprise in her voice. He reacted instantly. Without thinking, he lunged forward, grabbing her arm and holding her close, but the sudden pull caused both of them to lose balance. Maya's foot caught on a protruding root, and she felt herself sliding down a small embankment. Armand held on tightly, his heart racing as he tried to stabilize them. "Hold on! Don't let go!" he shouted, his voice firm but strained. Maya's breath caught in her throat. The world seemed to spin around her as rocks and dirt scraped against her clothes. Pain shot through her leg as she twisted awkwardly on the uneven ground. She bit her lip to stop herself from screaming. "Go slow! It hurts!" she moaned, her voice trembling. Armand's eyes widened. He tightened his grip gently, careful not to worsen her injury. His heart ached seeing her in pain. "I'll die before I hurt you," he whispered, almost to himself, but loud enough for her to hear. The words were simple, but full of promise, full of care. Maya looked at him, her eyes filled with trust despite the fear. She had never felt safer even in such a dangerous moment. Armand carefully adjusted his hold, trying to move her to a safer spot. Each motion was slow and deliberate, as he supported her weight and ensured she didn't twist her leg further. The slope was unforgiving. Loose rocks and roots made every step risky. Armin's muscles strained as he guided Maya down, his focus completely on her. She gritted her teeth, feeling sharp pangs of pain with every small movement. But Armand's presence, his calm voice and gentle reassurances helped her stay steady. "You're doing great," he said softly. "Just a little further, almost there." Maya nodded, tears forming in her eyes, partly from pain and partly from relief. She could feel the warmth of his hand through hers, his careful attention to every step. He moved with patience, never rushing, never letting fear control him. Every word he spoke seemed to remind her that she was not alone. After what felt like hours, but was really only minutes, they reached a small flat area where the slope leveled out slightly. Armin helped Maya sit down gently, supporting her injured leg. She exhaled, exhausted but relieved. "Okay," Armand said, brushing dirt off her clothes. "You're safe here. I'll stay with you until you feel ready to move again." Maya looked at him, her chest heaving with exertion. "Thank you," she whispered. I don't know what I would have done without you." Armand shook his head, smiling faintly. "You don't have to thank me. I just don't want anything to happen to you. Ever." They sat in silence for a few moments, listening to the soft sounds of the forest around them. Birds sang, the wind rustled the leaves, and the small stream nearby gurgled quietly. The world felt peaceful, even after the chaos of the fall. Maya leaned back slightly, trusting Armand to support her. She noticed how calm he remained, how careful his movements were. In that moment, she felt a deep sense of gratitude and an unspoken connection that went beyond friendship. She realized that danger, even frightening as it was, could reveal the true nature of a person. And Armin's actions, his words, his unwavering care showed her that he was someone she could trust with her life. Can you help me stand a little?" Maya asked, her voice hesitant. Armin nodded.
"Of course. We'll do it slowly, okay?"
Step by step, he helped her shift her weight gently, supporting her as she tested her injured leg. The pain was sharp but manageable with his help. Every step was careful, deliberate, and filled with reassurance. Maya felt a mix of relief and admiration as she realized how much he was willing to endure just to keep her safe. As they continued moving, Armin kept speaking softly, guiding her and calming her fears. "We're almost through this! Just a little more!" "You're doing amazing!" Maya smiled weakly, feeling a sense of comfort in his words. Despite the pain, despite the fear, she knew she was not alone. And in that quiet, intense moment, she began to see Armin in a new light. Not just as a friend, but as someone who truly cared, someone who would go to great lengths to protect her. By the time they reached a slightly wider, more stable section of the trail, Maya was exhausted but relieved. Armin sat beside her, making sure she was okay. He examined her leg carefully, checking for any serious injury, though she reassured him it wasn't broken. "You did really well," he said finally with a proud smile. "I'm glad you trusted me." Maya looked at him, feeling a mix of gratitude, admiration, and something she hadn't expected, an unexpected warmth in her heart. I always trust you," she said softly. Armin nodded, a small smile tugging at his lips. "Good, because I'll always be here. I mean it. I'll do everything I can to make sure nothing happens to you." As they rested, watching the sunlight shift and the forest wake around them, Maya felt a deep sense of relief and connection. The fall had been scary, painful, and exhausting, but it had also revealed something important, the true measure of care, trust, and courage. And for Maya, the memory of Armand's whispered promise, "I'll die before I hurt you," would stay with her forever. They didn't know what the rest of the trail would bring, but in that moment they knew they could face it together, step by step, with trust and care guiding every move. Maya's leg throbbed with every movement, but she refused to panic. She knew that panicking would only make things worse. Armin stayed by her side, his calm presence a constant reassurance. He crouched beside her, examining her injury carefully, feeling the muscles tense beneath his hands. "We need to make sure your leg doesn't get worse," he said softly, his voice steady and full of determination. Maya nodded, biting her lip to stop herself from crying out. "I know," she whispered.
It hurt so much. Armin glanced around.
The slope they had fallen down was tricky, but he spotted a place a little higher up the trail where the ground was flatter. If they could reach it, it would be safer, and maybe there they could figure out how to get more help. He gently placed his hand on her back. Oh, I'll help you. One step at a time. You just have to trust me. She looked at him, her eyes filled with fear and trust all at once. I do, she whispered.
I really do.
Slowly, carefully, Armin helped her stand. Every movement was deliberate.
He supported her under her arms and made sure her weight stayed off her injured leg. Maya gritted her teeth as pain shot through her knee, but she forced herself to breathe steadily. Each step forward was a challenge. Loose stones shifted beneath their feet, and roots threatened to trip them at every turn. Careful, Armin reminded her, his voice calm but firm. Just like this. Lean on me. We're moving together. Maya clutched his arm, her knuckles white, but she moved slowly with him. It was exhausting, both physically and mentally.
Her heart raced, not just from the effort, but from the fear of falling again. She felt vulnerable in a way she hadn't before.
And yet, Armin's unwavering focus on her made her feel safer than she ever had in her life. They reached the flatter area, a small clearing surrounded by tall trees. Maya sank down onto a patch of grass, letting out a long, shaky breath. I can't believe we made it, she said, her voice trembling. You did amazing, Armin said, brushing dirt off her clothes. Seriously? Most people would have panicked or cried out, but you stayed strong. I'm proud of you. Maya's eyes filled with tears, but this time they weren't just from the pain. She felt a strange mix of relief and gratitude. Thank you, she whispered. I don't know what I would have done without you. Armin shook his head. You don't have to thank me, he said softly. I just don't want anything to happen to you. Ever! They rested for a few moments, listening to the quiet sounds of the forest. The wind rustled through the leaves, a nearby stream bubbled over rocks, and birds chirped overhead. Maya watched Armin as he looked around, making sure there were no immediate dangers nearby. He seemed calm, confident, and ready to act if anything went wrong. She couldn't help but notice how much she trusted him, more than she had ever trusted anyone before. We should figure out how to get help, Armin said after a while, breaking the silence. He reached into his backpack and pulled out his phone. Signal might be weak here, but it's worth a try. Maya nodded. I hope someone answers. I don't want to be stuck here all day. Armin dialed and the phone buzzed in his hand. A weak signal, but enough. He spoke carefully, explaining their location and the situation. Maya watched him, amazed at how composed he remained even as she felt panic rising inside her. They're sending help, Armin said finally after hanging up. It might take some time, but they're on their way. We just need to wait. Maya leaned back against a tree, closing her eyes. The pain in her leg was constant, but at least now she felt a little safer knowing that help was coming. Armin stayed close, never leaving her side. He crouched beside her, checking her leg again and adjusting the makeshift support he had made earlier. You're doing really well, he said softly. Just keep breathing. Don't tense up. We'll get through this. Maya opened her eyes and looked at him. His eyes were calm, steady, filled with concern. She felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. I can't believe you stayed with me the whole time, she said. Of course, Armin replied. I told you I'll die before I hurt you. I meant it, and I mean it now. I won't leave you alone. Maya's heart swelled with emotion. In that moment, she realized just how much she trusted him, how much she relied on his presence. She had always admired Armin for his calm nature and strength, but now she saw another side of him, his unwavering care, his patience, and his determination to protect her. Time passed slowly. The forest remained quiet around them, and every small noise, like a bird landing on a branch or the rustle of leaves, felt amplified in the tense silence. Maya shifted slightly, wincing as pain shot through her leg. "Careful," Armin said immediately, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder to steady her. "I've got you." She smiled weakly.
You've got me a lot today, haven't you? He chuckled softly, a sound that felt warm and grounding. I guess I have, he said. But I don't mind! I want to be here for you!
Maya felt a strange comfort in his words. Even in pain and fear, she felt safe. She leaned slightly against him, letting his steady presence calm her. For a moment, the forest didn't feel threatening. It felt peaceful, and she realized how much she relied on Armin, not just physically, but emotionally. Minutes passed, and they talked quietly to keep their minds off the situation. Armin asked about her past hikes, funny memories from school, and small things about her life. Maya answered, laughing softly at some of his jokes despite the pain. The conversation distracted her, made the time pass more quickly, and reminded her that she wasn't alone. Eventually, the conversation turned to more serious topics. Maya admitted her fear of heights and her worries about injuries. Armin listened carefully, never interrupting, always offering gentle reassurance.
It's okay to be afraid, he said. You're human.
But you're also strong, stronger than you realize. Maya looked at him, seeing the sincerity in his eyes.
I feel strong because you're here, she admitted softly. I trust you. Armin smiled, a mixture of warmth and pride in his expression.
Good, he said. Because I'll always be here for you.
No matter what. The forest remained calm around them, but Maya could feel the tension slowly building in her body. Every movement, every shift, reminded her of the fall and the sharp pain in her leg. Yet Armin's calm demeanor and constant care made her feel more confident. She knew that no matter what happened, he would support her, and that knowledge gave her strength. Hours seemed to stretch endlessly as they waited for help. Armin stayed close, speaking softly, encouraging her to rest, and checking her leg periodically.
Maya felt a deep sense of connection forming between them. It wasn't just friendship anymore. In this moment of vulnerability, she realized that Armin's presence was more than comforting. He had become someone essential in her life. At one point, Maya winced as a sharp pain shot through her leg.
Armin, it hurts so much, she said, her voice trembling.
He immediately moved closer, supporting her and adjusting her position.
I know, he said softly.
But we're almost through this. Just hang on.
Breathe with me.
Maya took slow, steady breaths as Armin guided her through the pain. His voice was a constant anchor, a reminder that she was not alone. She felt her fear gradually lessen, replaced by gratitude and trust. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the sound of a vehicle in the distance reached their ears. Maya's eyes widened in relief.
I think help is here,
she exclaimed. Armin smiled, relief washing over him as well.
Almost there, he said. Stay calm. We're going to be okay.
The sound grew louder, and soon the rescue team appeared at the edge of the clearing. Maya felt a surge of hope and gratitude. Armin guided her carefully toward them, making sure she didn't put too much weight on her injured leg. The rescuers praised Armin's careful handling, acknowledging his patience and support. Maya looked at him, her eyes shining.
Thank you,
she said again, her voice full of emotion. Armin smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. You don't need to thank me, he said softly. I told you I'd be here.
And I am.
As the rescuers prepared to transport her, Maya felt a sense of relief, mixed with a deep emotional bond forming between her and Armin. The fall had been terrifying, but it had revealed something important, the depth of care, trust, and connection that could exist between two people. Even as she was lifted into the rescue vehicle, Maya knew one thing clearly. With Armin by her side, she could face anything. And for Armin, seeing Maya safe and trusting him completely gave him a sense of purpose and connection he hadn't realized he needed. Maya sat quietly in the clearing, her back against the rough bark of a tree. The pain in her leg had not lessened, and every slight movement sent sharp jolts through her knee.
Sweat ran down her forehead, though it wasn't hot. It was fear and exhaustion mingled with the effort of moving carefully under Ermin's guidance. She glanced at him, trying to read his expression. Armin crouched nearby, inspecting the surrounding forest, ensuring that nothing could harm them. Even after hours of helping her, he showed no sign of fatigue, no trace of frustration. He simply stayed focused on her as if the world existed only for her safety. "Are you okay?" he asked softly, looking directly at her with concern. His eyes were steady, filled with patience and care. Maya nodded slowly, though her lips quivered.
I'm okay, I guess. Just tired."
"And it hurts a lot." Armin reached out, gently taking her hand. "I know. I can see it."
But we're going to get through this. I promise.
The words, though simple, carried a weight that Maya could feel deep in her chest. She had always admired him, but now she realized just how much his presence mattered to her. It wasn't just his calmness or his skill in navigating the dangerous trail. It was the unwavering attention he gave her. The way he stayed by her side through fear and pain. They sat in silence for a while, broken only by the sound of the nearby stream and the occasional rustle of leaves. Time had become strange. Each minute stretched long, heavy with tension, yet the presence of Armand made the fear manageable. Maya thought about how quickly things could have gone wrong, how a single misstep could have been catastrophic.
And yet, here she was, still alive, still trusting him completely. "I'm glad you're here," she whispered finally, her voice trembling.
Armin looked at her, his expression softening. "I'm glad too," he said.
"I wouldn't be anywhere else."
Maya tried to adjust her position, wincing as pain shot through her leg.
"I don't want to slow you down," she said quietly.
"I feel like I'm holding you back."
Armin shook his head immediately. "You're not holding me back," he said firmly.
I'm here to help you. That's what I'm supposed to do.
"Don't even think about being a burden. You're not."
His words were simple but firm, and Maya felt a warmth in her chest. The forest, once so intimidating, now felt like a safe place because of him. She realized how much she relied on him, not just for physical support, but for emotional strength as well. "Can we try moving a little?" Armin asked gently.
"There's a spot ahead where the ground is more stable. If we can get there, it'll be much safer while we wait for help." Maya nodded, taking a deep breath.
"Okay," she said, trying to steady herself. Armin placed a supporting hand behind her back and helped her to her feet. Each step was slow and careful. Maya gritted her teeth as the pain flared with every movement. Armin guided her, his grip firm but gentle, adjusting her balance whenever she faltered. Every motion required focus, patience, and trust.
"You're doing really well," he said softly, his voice steady. "Just keep going. Lean on me. I've got you."
Maya felt a mix of fear and gratitude. She leaned into him, letting his strength guide her. The slope was tricky, filled with loose stones and exposed roots, but Armin moved with confidence, carefully navigating each step. Every once in a while, he whispered reassurance, reminding her to breathe, to focus, to trust him. After a few minutes, they reached the safer spot Armin had mentioned, a small plateau with firmer ground and fewer obstacles. Maya collapsed onto the grass, breathing heavily. Pain radiated through her leg, but she felt relief flood her chest. She looked at Armin, who crouched beside her, checking her leg carefully. "You're really strong," he said quietly. "Most people would have panicked by now, but you're doing amazing." Maya smiled weakly, a mixture of exhaustion and gratitude.
"I don't feel strong," she admitted.
"I feel scared and tired."
Armin shook his head.
"Being scared doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. But the way you've handled this, that's strength."
Real strength. For a moment, they just sat there, the forest around them quiet and calm. Maya couldn't stop thinking about how much she trusted him, how much she relied on his presence. She realized that she felt safer with him than she had with anyone else in her life. Every whispered word, every careful movement had built a bond between them that was stronger than friendship. Armin broke the silence after a while. I think we should try to signal for help again, he said. Maybe the signal will be better here. Maya nodded, leaning against a tree as Armin retrieved his phone. He fiddled with it, trying different angles, walking a few steps to find the strongest signal. Finally, he managed to place a call to the rescue team. Hello, he said carefully, explaining their location, the terrain, and the severity of Maya's injury. Maya listened quietly, her heart pounding. Hearing that help was on the way brought her a sense of relief she hadn't felt in hours. They're sending someone, Armin said, hanging up. It might take a little time to reach us, but they're coming. We just need to stay calm and keep your legs safe until they get here. Maya exhaled, letting the tension in her body ease slightly. Thank goodness, she whispered. Arman smiled, though his eyes remained alert. We're not out of the woods yet, he said gently. We need to stay careful, okay? Maya nodded. I trust you, she said softly. He looked at her, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Good, he said. Because I'll be here the whole time. I'm not going anywhere. Time passed slowly. The forest around them seemed to stretch endlessly. Every sound, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a bird, the trickle of the stream, felt louder in the tense silence. Maya shifted slightly, wincing as pain shot through her leg. Armin immediately placed a hand on her shoulder to steady her. I've got you, he said softly. Just breathe. Don't tense up. Maya took a deep breath, trying to focus on his calm voice rather than the pain. Each passing minute tested her patience and endurance, but Armand's unwavering attention kept her grounded. She realized how much she relied on him, not just physically, but emotionally. After some time, they talked quietly to keep their minds occupied. Armand asked about her past experiences, stories from school, and small funny moments. Maya laughed softly at some of his jokes, feeling comforted by his presence. The conversation helped distract her from the pain, and she realized that just having him there made everything feel a little less frightening. Eventually, the conversation turned more personal. Maya admitted her fear of falling and her worries about being injured. Armin listened carefully, never interrupting, offering gentle reassurances. It's okay to be afraid, he said. Fear doesn't make you weak. It just makes you human. But you're handling this so well. And I admire that. Maya felt a warmth spread through her chest. I feel strong because you're here, she said softly. I trust you completely. Armin smiled, a mixture of pride and care in his eyes. Good, he said, because I'm not leaving. Not now, not ever. Hours passed, and Maya's leg remained sore, but her fear had lessened thanks to Armin's calm presence. She realized that this experience had shown her something important, the depth of care and trust between two people. Armand's patience, attention, and unwavering support had built a bond she could not ignore. Suddenly, in the distance, the faint hum of a vehicle reached their ears. Maya's eyes widened in relief. I think help is coming, she exclaimed. Armin's face lit up with relief as well.
Almost there, he said. Stay calm.
We're going to be okay. The sound grew louder, and soon the rescue team appeared at the edge of the clearing. Maya felt a surge of hope and gratitude. Armin guided her carefully toward them, making sure she didn't put too much weight on her injured leg. The rescuers praised Armand's careful handling, acknowledging his patience and dedication. Maya looked at him, tears forming in her eyes. Thank you, she said again, her voice full of emotion. Armin smiled gently, brushing a strand of hair from her face. You don't need to thank me, he said softly. I told you I'd be here. And I am. As the rescuers began to prepare her for transport, Maya felt a deep sense of relief and a stronger connection to Armand than ever before. The accident had been frightening and painful, but it had also revealed the true nature of care, trust, and friendship. And in that moment, Maya knew that with Armin by her side, she could face anything. Maya lay on the hospital bed, her leg elevated and wrapped in a thick cast. The room smelled faintly of antiseptic, but it was quiet, peaceful, in a way that made her feel safe. Outside, the sun streamed through the window, casting golden light on the walls. Her leg throbbed, a constant reminder of the fall, but she no longer felt panic. Instead, she felt a strange mix of exhaustion and relief.
Armand sat beside her, holding a small bag with her belongings. He had refused to leave her side since the rescue team brought her here.
Even after ensuring she was admitted and stable, he stayed, quietly watching over her, making sure she was comfortable. "How are you feeling?" he asked softly, brushing a strand of hair from her forehead.
Maya tried to smile. Sore, she admitted.
"But I think I'm okay. You're here, so I feel safer." Armand's eyes softened. "Good," he said, "because I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay right here as long as you need me." Maya looked at him, a warmth spreading through her chest.
She had never realized how much his presence mattered to her until now. During the accident, she had relied on him completely. And now, even here in the hospital, she realized how much she trusted him. Every small act of care, every gentle word had built a bond she couldn't ignore. The doctor entered shortly after, checking her cast and examining her progress. Maya listened politely, nodding at the instructions about rest and limited movement. Armand asked questions carefully, making sure he understood everything she needed. When the doctor left, he turned to her and smiled.
"See, you're in good hands," he said gently. "And I'll be here to help too," Maya chuckled softly, feeling comforted. "You really didn't leave my side for a second, did you?" "Nope," he said, shaking his head with a small smile. "I told you I'd be here, and I meant it." Days passed slowly, filled with a routine of care, recovery exercises, and quiet companionship.
Maya's leg healed gradually, though each small movement reminded her of the fall and the pain she had endured. Armand stayed with her, helping her with meals, reading aloud when she felt restless, and even distracting her with small jokes to lift her spirits.
Through it all, Maya felt herself growing stronger, not just physically, but emotionally. She realized how much she had depended on Armand, and how much his care had helped her cope with fear and pain. Every small act of kindness, from adjusting her pillow to holding her hand during difficult moments, made her heart feel lighter, more open. One afternoon, as the sun began to set and the room glowed in warm shades of orange, Maya attempted to stand with Armand's help.
Her leg trembled slightly, but he supported her, guiding her every step. "You're doing great," he said softly.
"Just a few more steps, then we can take a little rest."
Maya nodded, focusing on his voice and the steadying support of his hands.
Step by step, she moved across the room, feeling a mix of fear, determination, and pride. When she finally reached the other side, she sat down with a sigh of relief. "I can't believe I did it," she whispered, smiling weakly at him. "You did it because you're strong," Armand said gently, "and because you trusted me." Maya looked at him, realizing just how much she did trust him, not just for physical support, but for emotional strength. In that moment, she felt a warmth that went beyond friendship. She had always admired Armand, but now she saw a side of him that went deeper: his patience, his care, and his unwavering presence during her most vulnerable moments. As her recovery continued, the bond between them grew stronger. They shared quiet conversations about life, fears, and hopes for the future.
Maya realized how much she valued his presence, how much his support had helped her through fear and pain. She found herself laughing more, feeling more relaxed, and gradually regaining confidence in her mobility. One evening, as they sat together near the window, Maya turned to Armand. "You know," she said softly. "I never realized how much I needed someone like you." Armand smiled, a gentle warmth in his eyes. "I've always been here," he said.
"Even when you didn't notice, I just
wanted to make sure you were safe." Maya felt a surge of emotion.
You didn't just keep me safe, she said. You made me feel cared for.
Really cared for? I can't thank you enough."
Armand reached out and took her hand, holding it gently.
"You don't need to thank me," he said. "Seeing you safe and trusting me, that's all I need."
Their moments together grew tender, quiet, and meaningful. Maya began to notice the little things, the way Armin would instinctively adjust her pillow, how he always noticed when she was in pain, how he smiled softly when she laughed. She realized that during the accident, during the struggle and fear, a deep connection had formed, a bond that neither of them could ignore. Eventually, the day came when Maya could walk short distances without support. The hospital staff encouraged her, and Armin stayed by her side every step of the way. He cheered her on, guided her carefully, and reminded her to breathe and move slowly. With each step, Maya felt her confidence return, her fear diminishing. "You're amazing," Armin said softly as she reached the end of the hallway. "Look at you, walking on your own." Maya smiled, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. "I couldn't have done it without you," she admitted. Armand shook his head gently. "You could have. I just helped you get there." Days later, Maya was cleared to leave the hospital. As she prepared to step outside, Armand helped her adjust her crutches and made sure she was steady. The sunlight felt warm on her face, and she took a deep breath, savoring the feeling of freedom after weeks of confinement. As they walked toward the car, Maya turned to him. "I don't know what I would have done without you," she said quietly. Armin smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "You don't have to worry about that," he said. "I'll always be here. You can count on me, no matter what." Maya felt her heart swell with gratitude and something more, something deep and unspoken that had been growing since the accident. She realized that the bond they shared had evolved into something beyond friendship. It was trust, care, and affection, all intertwined in a way that made her feel safe, understood, and valued. Over the following weeks, Maya continued her recovery at home. Armand visited regularly, helping her with exercises, cooking meals, and making sure she rested properly. Their connection deepened with every visit, every small act of care, every shared laugh or quiet conversation. Maya began to feel a sense of peace and happiness she hadn't known before. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in shades of pink and gold, Maya sat with Armand on the porch, her leg resting comfortably. She looked at him, feeling a surge of gratitude and affection. "You know," she said softly, "I was so scared during the fall, but you made me feel safe." "Really safe?" Armin reached out and took her hand, holding it gently. "I promised you," he said softly, "that I'd never let anything happen to you, and I meant it. I'll always mean it." Maya smiled, feeling warmth and reassurance spread through her. "I know," she said, "and I trust you completely." Armin squeezed her hand gently. "Good," he said, "because I'll always be here." No matter what, Maya leaned slightly against him, feeling comforted and cared for. The accident, the struggle, the fear, and the pain had all led them here to a place of trust, understanding, and deep connection. She realized that life could be unpredictable and sometimes frightening, but with someone like Armand by her side, she could face anything. As the evening sky darkened and stars began to appear, Maya and Armand sat together in quiet contentment. Their hands remained entwined, a silent promise that they would face whatever came next together. And in that moment, Maya felt a profound sense of safety, trust, and warmth, a feeling she knew she would carry with her forever. The accident had changed her life in unexpected ways. It had revealed fear, pain, and vulnerability, but it had also revealed the depth of care, trust, and connection that could exist between two people. Maya knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she would always remember the words Armin had whispered during her darkest moments, "I'll die before I hurt you." And she knew, with complete certainty, that he meant every word.